rephrase, what I said earlier. That's that the leader is not the guy who likes to be in front or who thinks he should be in front. Because the guy who thinks he should be in front is just fronting, just wants to be in front of people, just thinks he should be on stage, just thinks, oh, he is something. This is his ego speaking. It's not his leadership. It's not the innate ability within him to want to get things done that is speaking. It is his innate desire to want to show. And that is not a bad thing. If that's the life you are called to live, it's fine. I always say something. Whatever each person decides is fulfillment for them, is fulfillment for them. There is no general definition for fulfillment. Fulfillment is personal. So if somebody says they want to be a teacher, a classroom teacher, that is absolute fulfillment. I'm going to be proud of them. If somebody says they want to be a president and they live out their lives chasing it like Atiku, that's fulfillment for them. And if somebody says, oh, I'm fulfilled being a father, then that's fulfillment for them. So if somebody says that fulfillment for them is, being a celebrity, and that's not even bad. You get what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to point out. That they just want to show. It's just for the lights, everybody's attention. Sign on books and give autographs and pictures, 1,001 pictures of. That's great. They're not really making any impact. They just want to be known. Fine. But I'm saying that you who wants to become a leader, that's why you're on this call. Do you get? So I'm making a contradistinction between doing, acting, being in front, and being ahead, being a leader. That being a leader is usually an act of being ahead in your own life, in your own society, and with others. And that was why I gave the example of you might think that being a leader is being on stage. The stage is where I'm needed right now. This and that. But it's not. Somebody is about to fall at the back, or somebody is missing their direction. Maybe you told somebody to go bring you something from the back, and they already went into the wrong room, and they've been searching for the last 10 minutes. Leadership is me sending somebody to them so that they will not keep wasting time and getting stressed, not finding that, and I'm telling somebody to them that, oh, you went into the wrong door. You're supposed to have gone left, even though I was on stage. That in that moment, what matters more to me is not my showing or my appearance or how smooth my speech goes. What matters to me is not how smooth that session went. That I can take a minute to help somebody who is trying to join from the outside or who is lost. So leadership is in knowing when to either be in front or be at the back or be in the middle, wherever it is, not about the position. So, I like the word I just used. Leadership is not about the position. It's not about whether you're in front or you're in the back or in the middle or on the left or on the right. It's not whether you're on stage or backstage. It's not about any of those. It's not about the position too, in the other term of the word, in the other usage of the word, as in position, title. Leadership is about the activity, the impact, the being, the what is being done. So to the extent that if what is being done is moving us closer towards the goal. For example, one of us on this call, let's say we decide that we want to, trend the name of Jesus, or we want to trend Peter Obi. Not everybody follows Jesus, or not everybody supports Peter Obi. But let's just imagine that we all decide that, okay, let's just use Tinubu since he's our president, that, we want to re-elect Tinubu for 2027. That what matters most is if what I am doing and what you are doing is moving us closer to the goal, no matter what our positions are, no matter what our titles are, or no matter where we are doing it from. Whether you are the social media manager and nobody knows you are the one posting, or you are the face of the media, you are the one on the show. And why is this important? Because we'll begin to think that leadership is about showing, and then when somebody triggers you, when somebody says something, you deviate from the goal. Imagine we're in a round table meeting 10 of us in a round table meeting and somebody says something that offends me, and because it's about me, it's not about the goal, I will leave the entire purpose of the meeting. I will not be able to control my own self and emotion, my ego, and focus on retorting the person. So much that I will still be doing it with flair and class and behaving like I'm steering us forward. I'm sitting at the head of the table, right? I'm like, oh, what do you mean? Are you serious? Did you really say that? And we've spent another 30 minutes. So we must understand, oh my God. So we must understand that somehow, sometimes, no, not sometimes, every time when anything is made about the self, then there is no leadership. So first thing you should, if you are writing anything, is that leadership is never about you. Is never about you. You must get to a point where you're not just seeking to be empowered as a person, not just seeking to wield authority or be empowered or to be vested with power. You must seek to empower others to the point where you can say, oh yes, I got this idea, it's my vision, but you lead. Oh, you do this, you do that. And you will see why this is important later. I'm going to say something later that will help you see or help you know why it is important to empower others. Hey, God, I'm saying all this. I'm sighing because I don't want to jump. I don't want to jump. Jesus, help me. You see why it's important to empower others, but just note it that it's not about self-aggrandizement. It's not about self-empowerment. It's about empowering others. And you will see why it is important to do that empowering others. Because if you don't do it, you won't get the goal. But I will explain why later. So everybody has a desire. We all want to lead. And most times, so I'm coming to the second part of the discussion, which is, so how do we get on with that leading? At least now we've defined what that leadership is. That's what what it means, what it connotes, what it should really mean. So now, how do we go about it? And as I was trying to say, is that everybody has a desire. Everybody has a desire to succeed. Everybody has a desire to do great stuff. Everybody has a desire to do, big things. But not everybody knows the how. Not everybody has, the resources. Not everybody has the information. Not everybody has the structure. And what begins to happen is that if you do not go looking for that how, and that's why we are here today, because as I said, it's an art of becoming. It's an art of, becoming you. So if you don't go looking for that how, you're not becoming you. I'm sorry, but leadership is one of the greatest things. And maybe somebody is thinking, as I'm using the word leadership over and over, and they are seeing crowds. Great stuff. But what about leading at home as the eldest one, or the most mature one, or the most civilized one, or the most literate one? Do you know you can be leader to your parents? You can be leader to your friends. It's called being the instigator in your circle. That you are the instigator in your own circle. You are the one who instigates people to great stuff, to great ideas, to think things. So it's not just about, again, it's not just about the crowd. It's about knowing that leadership is important even in the smallest of things with your siblings, because that's how you go and have a younger one that does not hear word. Are we together? And or a friend that you cannot be proud of showing tomorrow because you were not able to lead enough to show them that. Oh God of heaven, you're not able to lead enough to show them that this. See, leadership would be in the showing up to tell your friend that you call your friend 6 a.m. in the morning and saying, see, you posted something on your Twitter yesterday and that thing was very wrong. And it's not about you, it's about creating a circle of elites, of great men. So it's not that this one is not about you. Nobody knows that you even call this friend. You are doing this for posterity. So leadership doesn't just happen on the stage. It happens in the everyday. It happens when my friend texts me and they need to talk to me. It happens when I said I'm going to do something and I go ahead and do it. So I'm saying that if you don't know the how, you're not going to pursue the being. You're not going to pursue the becoming a leader, the becoming leadership. And one thing you discover is that at some point where you think you've got to as a leader, you begin to become overwhelmed. You don't know what to do next. So it's not always about starting to become a leader. It's also that you're already a leader sometimes, but you don't know what to do next. So I know that this conversation is going to be touching different persons at different times. That, they'll be like, you're going to be finding the part that belongs to you during this conversation. So for some of you, you're already a leader. You already lead systems. You at least you let's even use positions. You already hold some position. You are the second born, and you have three siblings after you. You are a leader. Let's even say you are the last born, but you are the most intelligent of all of them. All your siblings, you are the finest. You are a leader. You know how the youngest are always fine. Oh my God. You think you have seen a beautiful elder sister until you see the younger sister. Just ensure that if you are falling in love with the elder sister, just stay with her, or else you are a very irresponsible person. But I'm saying that sometimes we have those positions of opportunity, those positions of, how do I describe it, oh Father in heaven? Mm. You have those positions of grace, and you must realize that even then and there, you need to lead. So now let me go back to what I was trying to say. That so sometimes you're already leading, but you don't know what to do next. You don't know where this thing is going next. Let me explain. You can go like that and keep pushing and keep struggling and keep trying to put up a show and put up a face. You've burned through your knowledge base. You don't, you know, you're just moving with emotions now. You're just a passionate person. You're not really making impact. And you get to the point where you find yourself, in a room of persons that you can't dictate to. You've always been the one who has the next idea, who this and that. You have always been the local champion. Now you're in a different environment. You're leaving school. You're graduating. You're getting married. Oh God. Oof. You're starting a new degree. You're starting a program. You're starting a show. You are making a new decision. You're getting to a point where you've not been before. Because you are progressive as an human being. Yes, you have been a leader. You were the president of your fellowship, or you were the president of your student union, or you were this or that. But now you are seeing things you've not seen before. And what kills most persons when they get to that place is that instead of learning to learn, so this is my next point. This is how to be a leader. Learning to learn. Instead of learning to learn, to co-create with other persons, they start coercing. They start forcing things. They want to. You can't force people that you are mates with. You're not their leader. do, do you understand? So what will happen is that you find yourself defaulting to where you are coming from instead of where you're supposed to be going. So instead of enlarging, instead of increasing, instead of becoming more, you are becoming less. You can't survive in this new environment because you're not open to learning. And so we must be people, we must be the kind of leaders that are not just people who like to listen and speak truth to others, or who like to listen and hear truth from people that we feel are above us, but even from people that are below us, in quotes, people that look up to us. We must be leaders that can be challenged. And challenge there, I will use it in the two forms of that word. Challenge here would mean you can be challenged by the life of even those who don't look like it. They can challenge you. Then they can also challenge you, as in literally in words. They can tell you that, sir, that thing you did, we didn't think it was quite. They will do it with the most cultures of words. We didn't think it was quite tasteful. So, my God, I really hope that, please, guys, you can hear me. Can I get some feedback? Can somebody unmute their mic and say something?
Can hear you.
Okay.
I can hear you.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you. So that you become that leader, we're in a generation where it's very difficult to, in a generation of how many followers do you have? It's very difficult to follow. It's very difficult to follow. But leadership means that you can get inspired by those who can speak to you too, who you lead. You know that they can disagree with you. Of course, if it comes to decision making, you can still use your veto power. I'm a leader in many circles, and I know what it means to deal with human beings. But I'm saying that you are open enough to listen. So we must begin to take off our cloth of ego and begin to put on cloth of impact. Because see, and as I said, that empower thing that you must empower people below you. I'm coming to it because see, it is in that making it not about yourself and empowering those around you, both by listening to them, by sharing the vision with them, by serving them, knowing that it's not about being on the stage. Yeah, I can be in production or in protocol because that's where leadership is needed. Because protocol is catering. Knowing that is that's what will deliver the impact on the long run. Now, I'm coming to a next phase of the discussion. Sometimes you've been a leader for too long, you've been a winner for too long, you've succeeded for too long. Let's say life give you everything on a platter of gold. I mean, of course, nobody has that, but let's just imagine you're born to Bill Gates. You never had to work a day of your life. Maybe you even decided to work, but it was at your own choice. you know, or let's just say you're an hardworking person and things have always come to you good. The problem is that you don't have an emotional residue, an emotional space for tolerating failures. In quotes, people who failed. You don't have an emotional tolerance for losing. You don't have an emotional tolerance for inefficiency. So I can't, sometimes I can't stand inefficient people because I know that I would get the job done. So how come you didn't get the job done? Tony, I gave you this assignment. Oh my God. Like somebody comes to me and the excuse was that there was no power on my phone. I'm like, the same time you said there was no power on your phone, I went to charge at a club that was noisy just to get the job done. So sometimes it's hard for you as a leader to bear the inefficiencies, the failures, they are not so mature as you are, they're not so skilled as you are. And that is what you must recognize as a leader. But it's hard. But sometimes you yourself now lose. And when it hits you, when you fail, you because you can't even stand it from others, you can't stand it from yourself too. You cannot give yourself enough grace in quotes to fail. And so you begin to question yourself. You begin to feel like maybe I was not what I thought I was. And so you see what ego does? Ego puts you on a pedestal so high that if you fail, which is a normal thing, hmm, I hope that I find the best words to convey what I'm about to say. You cannot now imagine or fathom that you failed. So again, you focus on yourself instead of on the goal. Do you remember what I said at the beginning that somebody challenged you, and instead of focusing on the goal, you're in a boardroom meeting. You begin to focus on yourself, and the entire conversation becomes about how would you challenge me that way. I mean, you could have called that person after the meeting, but because you could not take some scars, some shots at you in a boardroom meeting, which is expected that they will challenge you. Then the goal is left to naught. Same thing, because you cannot, because it's about you, it's about your pride, it's not about your becoming. When you fail, or if you lose something, you lost the deal, or the plan did not go as it should have gone. The plan would have still worked if you continued, if you didn't give up. But no, at that moment, you began to focus on yourself instead of being a question, oh my, So maybe I'm not what I thought I was. It's not about you. It's not. It's really not. Sometimes we're going to forget what God has brought us through. That you pass primary school, you pass secondary school, you passed university. So now you lost the contract and you feel like you're nothing. You know you are not. You're not nothing. You are something. And so the reason that life and God and situations, the reason God removes the veneer of perfection is so that you can learn to have grace for imperfect people. Again, this is only for those who are leaders or who want to be leaders or who are called to be leaders. Because you will feel like why should I tolerate them? You're not supposed to be on this call. Do you understand? You're not supposed to be on this call. It's it's those who know that it's okay to be imperfect, and that even then, what it is doing to me is that I am getting the opportunity to learn. Because sometimes leadership falls on you by, as I said, by life, by positions. So it's not like positions are bad, by some expectations, by some things. Leadership, you know, falls on you. Leadership comes natural to you. You are always in front, but maybe not always ahead. So, but each time you're not ahead, you make it about yourself. I'm now saying that with your opportunity of being in front, you need to now start learning that sometimes being ahead means that you accept the failure, because now you get to be part of the lives of those who are at the back. Ah, I like the way I said it, but I hope somebody edits. You have always been in front. You don't know what it means to be at the back. But now you are in front, but you're not ahead. You failed. And that is your opportunity to learn what it means to be at the back, even though you are a front person. Because that's the only way to lead people at the back. If you don't know what they feel, you don't know how it feels to fail, you don't know what it means to have a child that you are looking, I mean, you watched over the night, and so you are in the office and you are sleeping, and you cannot give grace to somebody sleeping in your office, then you are not fit to lead them. If you don't know the pain of others, if you cannot feel the pain of others, if you cannot understand it, then you're not fit to lead them. The Bible says that we have not an high priest who is not touched by the feelings of our infirmities. So we cannot have a leader, an high priest, a leader who is not touched, who does not know what we feel. You are not fit to be our leader, to be called our leader, if you don't know what we feel. Ah. See, guys, do me a favor. If there's anything you are hearing that is eating you, be dropping it in my DM. Just be dropping it in my DM. Just type it and drop it in my DM. Oh my God. So you would be in your journey of becoming, you'll be a better leader when you know and when you learn, like you are getting the opportunity to hear tonight, that your failure, your once in a while imperfections, you as a perfect human, in quotes, is your opportunity to learn to have grace for imperfect people. So we don't just consider the metrics. You don't just pass or fail somebody just because they didn't pass. You want to be, oh, you failed. That's fine. But how did you get here? At least you got here. You failed, but you got here. Maybe our system is what is broken. You are open enough. You're open enough to accommodate for failure. And in quotes, failure here is what does not measure up to your standard. It's not like that thing is not good, but maybe you have created a system so rigid, a system so built around you that is impossible for others in their uniqueness to pass. So they didn't fail, they were just different. You told somebody to create a document and they didn't create it the way you have created it. See, I'm talking to myself because I'm a very rigid and structured person. There's a way I do things. So if somebody does not write, somebody does not write in the way I would have wanted to write. But I'm learning that maybe, blessing, you're on this call. If somebody does not do the video the way I expect them to do it, or if somebody did not write the copy to that flyer the way I expect them to write it, he irks me. But I've learned to just look away because that's their own uniqueness. But let's even say it's an outright failure by all metrics of success. You still need to be able to consider and say, oh, maybe it's our system that is broken, that didn't consider your journey as a success. At least you took the journey. So how did you get here? How did you create a system that takes you? So how can we create a system for you that takes you in your own elements, your own essence, your own uniqueness to where we want you to go? That's leadership. That's how to be a leader that can deal and work with both perfect and imperfect situations and both perfect and imperfect people. I hope I'm making sense. So again, if you can hear me, I would like some feedback. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, very much clearly.
Yeah,
Yes.
great stuff. Great stuff. Okay. And you know, that begins to show you that maybe so even you as you failed, you now look for another way. You discover that maybe it's not just about my way or my method. Maybe there's one other way to do it. Maybe there's one more way. The fact that you can give grace to somebody else to do it again, to show to look at their own journey and say, oh, maybe this you did it this way. Wait, let's find another way to do it. It begins to teach you that even you, when you fail, you can give grace to yourself. That, oh, you failed, you wrote that contract, you did that proposal, you failed, so maybe you can go back home and watch videos again and sip and paint and take 2 days off and go to the cinema and then maybe find another way to do it. You're not ready to lead until you have the you you know until you have the capacity to understand the average person, because you as a leader, you're already ahead. Now, another thing, so which is bringing me closer to the empowering people. This is another way to empower people. You are not also ready to lead until you don't have the capacity to avenge. I've said it before in another way, but I'm trying to say it in another way. So somebody says something that you didn't like, you lost your emotions, but now, so I said you're not ready to lead until you can understand average people or average situations or average circumstances. It's not always about people. You're also not ready to lead until you don't have the capacity to avenge. Please give me a minute, guys. Okay, so guys, I'm back. So as I was saying, you're also not ready to lead until you don't have the capacity to avenge. That's when you know that you have truly become. Are you with me? So you must be able to not, it's not every time you clap back, slap back, punching bag, always wanting to have the last word. God says that's not where I'm taking. So for this next level of leadership and for everyone that is on this call, for this next level of leadership that you guys are going to be entering, because as I said, there's a kind of leadership that everybody knows, but there's a different type you're going to realize tonight. For that next level, it's not a level of meddling and peddling into everything low. And so that's where true class comes from. True class is not separating yourself from the mud. True class is being able to go through the mud without being stained by the mud. You would think that, is it possible? Ask the lily, a lily in the mire, a lily in the mud. Lilies grow from that dirty place. They take root into that mud. And that's where you're going. That's this next stage of leadership that you're going. That's what you're becoming. So God is like, let me undo the clapbacks. Let me undo the response. You just keep showing up and get the work done. Because as I said, you get a point where it's not about your emotions, about your passions or your ambitions or your desires now. It's about showing up and getting the work done, the kingdom or whatever it is that you are called to. Getting goals done, getting things done. And so it's less about you. It's less about,
Yes, boss.
your ego. And in fact, the most incredible part is now that you now see others. You have learned to now see others and people say, oh, you are tired. I get it. I understand. Because you too, you get tired and you give yourself grace. You don't have money. I've been there. Oh, you ran out of ideas. Mental block. Come, this is what I do when I have a mental block. I run out too. Oh, my mom called. So you are no longer that kind of leader. You're no longer that kind of leader who is consumed by themselves. Oh my! I wish I could run through everything. So it's a conversation. I'm going to ask you guys to give me the tidbits of the things you have heard up till now. One person, you say one thing that you have heard, and then we continue. So I'm going to call you guys. Blessing, you first, quickly.
I I actually heard a lot of things, but like I'm going to like say one since you said it. So you're talking about like leadership. Always be open to learning. Be the kind of leader that you don't just want to speak and give advice and everything. Always be open for criticism, to be challenged, and to be queried on what you do.
And that's
So
because
I think that
and that's because it's not just because you want to be a good person. It's because you want to learn to empower these persons you are leading. And I said that I'm going to show why you need to empower them. But first of all, it's also because it's not about you. It's not just about you. So if you're somebody who likes giving the responses back and talking back all the time, then you lose consciousness of the goal. You lose consciousness of what we are here for. Okay, Devil Chuku Favor, if you're with us, say something that you've heard.
I really love how you mentioned um, the way we are able to be in tune with the experiences that we have. I love the fact that you mentioned that we cannot lead when we do not understand what it means to be led. I think that that is a way for me to paraphrase what you said, basically, because the way we lead people would really it really matters a lot, basically. And the only way we can lead them properly is for us to see and also visualize the pain or visualize what exactly they are going through, you know. So
Exactly.
that is it.
Okay, beautiful. So in the phrase I used it, or in the statements that I used, I said that um you have always been an ahead person. You've always been in front, maybe by natural positions. And I said it's not about being in front, it's about being ahead. That's a contradiction we made at the beginning. But that because you have always been ahead, sometimes when you fail and you lose and you feel pain, it allows you feel what those who are at the back feel, right? By natural positions, you're the firstborn or this or that, or you have always been the most intelligent in the class or this and that. But because you're a leader, it's not about you. You want to be able to bring others along. You want to be able to empower others. You are able to acknowledge that you failed and be okay with it. And in fact, learn through that pain what those who are not as good as you or are not in the same position as you or who don't have the same calling as you, what they go through, so that you can lead them properly because you were called to lead them. And I use the scripture, for we have not an high priest who is not touched by the feelings of our infirmity. So in fact, you're not worthy to lead if you don't know what they feel. If you are that perfect person, if you're not open for imperfections, then you're not worthy. Abby, is your network stable enough to tell us what you've heard? Faith, that's you. Okay, well, so maybe we'll take more persons as we move. But I intentionally did that because it's a conversation and I just don't want to be the one talking. Now, let's continue. Now, so I was saying that when you get to that point where it's no longer about the slapbacks and the talkbacks and you have to respond all the time and this and that, and you are able to accommodate the failure of others and able to say, okay, maybe it's our system that is broken. Maybe it's not us. It's no longer about your perfection. It's not, you now know how to accommodate others. And it's no longer about you. Then you're ready for that next stage of leadership, right? You're ready to be able to understand others. And I want to say something. How on earth do we think that we can lead through spaces of darkness if we can't simply want to go through the darkness? Like you are a light, but you don't want to go through the darkness. How on earth do you think that you're worthy of leading? So maybe what we need to do is introduce ourselves to, those quarters and estates of those who are not yet there. and slowly, surely begin to take them to become part of what you are. And this brings me to what I've been wanting to come to since. To become part of what you are, to become part of what you are. This is what I mean by empowering others, to become part of what you are. So as I said, leadership is not a position, it's a becoming, it's a lifestyle. And maybe you two have always thought before tonight that leadership is about the position and being in front and this and that. But now you have realized that, oh, leadership is not about me being on the stage and being the one holding the mic. Sometimes it could be that something wants to fall at the back and I'm the one who saw it first. So I'm ahead. So it's not about being in front, it's about being ahead. I'm ahead because I see things. I'm able to get things done. I'm able to, make things work, whether I'm in front or not. As long as it's pushing the goal forward. So I'm now saying that, you know, now that you've understood that that's what leadership is, and you can now go into quarters of darkness, you don't mind whether you're in the spotlight, but you are the light. You are the light of the world. It's not about the spotlight now, it's about you. It's not about the position that entitles you or empowers you. It's about the you, the being. Then you begin to now be able to go into those quarters and begin to bring those people there. Scriptures say, I'm referencing scriptures a lot, and when I'm having philosophical conversations like this and I'm referencing scriptures, I always say, for the sake of those who are not Christians, that I'm referencing the Bible as a book right now, not as a religious text. Okay, I'm referencing it as a classical text that we can get a lot of things from. Scriptures say, people that sat in darkness have seen a great light. That's when Jesus came, right? John was writing about Jesus, so that you can. And then they saw great light, so they became light themselves. So we are the light of the world. So you go into those dark places and lighting those places up. So those people now become part of what you are. They become part of your light. So as I was saying, that's where true class comes from. That's where true flair, true steez, true leadership. Again, with that word again, true class comes from. So your class is no longer because you are putting yourself in a different position. You are taking the front seat, or you are trying to separate yourself from the others. Your class is because you can go through that mud and come out as light and even make other lights from the mud. You can now impact people. You can empower people. You are now a motivation and inspiration for others. That's true class. That's the life I want to live. So again, for this place that you are going, you must be ready to go through imperfections. You must be ready to go through dark places. You must be ready to go through places where you'll be misunderstood. There's no perfect person, but even if somebody's saying that they are perfect, I'm not going to war with them. I'm not going to war with a perfect person, because where we are going, where our goal and destination is, they're going to throw things at us. People are going to. So if you don't have the tolerance for imperfect people, if you don't have the tolerance for dirt, for some mud, we can't go lead in this next stage of life, on this next stage of growth and of leadership and of becoming. So you can't go with me. I'll go. And for those of you who want to go, but do you guys get what I'm saying? And now coming to blemishes, dirt, mud, things being thrown at you, being misunderstood. Yeah. So again, on the issue of perfection, sometimes you now feel like, I'm the leader. Nobody should talk back at me and this and that, or that I should not be going through this and that. The anointing upon my head, or the calling upon my head. See, the calling upon your head does not exempt you from attack or from failures. In fact, it is what attracts it. That's your tuition in the school of leadership. That's going through it. That's what the school of leadership makes you pay for becoming a leader. It is your light, it is your greatness that attracts all of the mire. You want to lead people, you will pay. You will pay. So, and this is also for those who are followers too. I mean, see, some people are called to co-create with others. Not everybody is a pioneer, or not everybody will lead, or not everybody should be a leader, but not everybody will be in front, or not everybody will be in positional leadership. Yeah, positional leadership. Everybody should lead. Everybody should lead, but not everybody will be in positional leadership. And now, the problem is that for those who are also called to serve with others, or those of us who have position, for example, now all of us we're not president. Nobody is president on this call. So for all of us who know that we have a president, the problem with we imperfect people is that we want perfect men in leadership, and it does not work. It's not what we need. There's no perfect man, but is the man called? Is he chosen for this assignment too? So you see, you begin to realize that it's about the goal, it's about the destination, it's about the becoming. It's not about the man, whether you are the man or the man that is there. Mm. Whether it's you or the person there, whether it's you or the person there, it's not about any of that. It's about, it's not about who it is, who is on seat. It's about, is this person chosen for this assignment? Are they called for it? Then we'll follow him. We don't start checking the mattress for what we might find under the mattress. So your MBA, your business school, your certificate, your position, all of those things, qualifications, is just management though. You're a manager. What makes you a leader is these things we are discussing. So you pay your tuition of being misunderstood and also learning to not misunderstand others, to giving grace to others. Your tuition of being maligned, being lied against, but still loving these ones enough. So note this thing I'm about to say, that you can still love these ones enough to lead them as well. These people that misunderstand you, to die for them as well, like Jesus. It's about dying. It's like dying on the cross to pave the way for those who will come after you, even though they're the ones that crucified you. But it's them you are dying for. To still be able to lead even your naysayers with love. Yeah, that's when you become a leader. Now, coming to the final part of the conversation tonight, we are 42 minutes in. Yeah, we're 42 minutes in. Coming to the final part of the conversation tonight. Um, so all of this shows you compassion, you know, shows you to, show up despite yourself, and whether you are angry or sad, it's about the goal. Now, this next thing that I'm going to come, which is like going to be like our last main point for tonight, is that you must have the ability to take those you are leading where you are going. And as I said, if you are, see, everything flows into each other. I've used the word empowerment, and I've shown that means making them part of what you are. They become part of your lights. They also become lighted up by you, right? I'm now saying that the ability to take people to where you are going, to not just show, to not just tell, but show, to not do it alone. That's how you empower them. That's how they become like you. You have gone through the mud. You've gone to shine light on them. But now, how? See, these are the hours of becoming a leader. How again do you now make them like you? And make them like you, as in you're not trying to form them into your image. I'm saying make them into lighted persons. Set them on fire. Fire foxes. Do you know that's how Solomon destroyed an entire city? I don't know, I can't remember the exact story. But he gathered foxes and set their tails on fire. So they ran wild. Their tail was burning. So they ran into the wild, into the bush, and the bush was dry. That's how he set the entire city on fire. Yeah. That's how to do it. You, the Solomon, you gather the foxes. Indrados Kivai. I'm not about to turn this into a Christian meeting. Oh God. Oh God of heaven. So you light them. The idea of leadership out there, the idea of success, you shut yourself out, you don't sleep, you go alone, go the mile, do the hard things. And I've been posting something on my status more recently that not everything is black and white. There are more shades of grey than we admit. There are more shades of grey than we admit. So who says that you have to lock yourself in a room, locked in? I mean, I post it too, because sometimes as a young man, you have to do that. And, fight everybody. Don't talk to anybody. Go alone. If you want to travel a mile, this. If you want to travel this. But if you want to travel far, go alone. Who says? I've learned that you can completely lead, completely ascend, do great stuff and still have time to laugh, look back, to mentor, to carry others along. You can grow and hyperscale companies without compromising and separating your life from those who love you. So you must recognize that it's about integration, not competition. You must begin to integrate others and other parts of your life to work with the other parts of your life. You must begin to be able to bring them along even while you are leading yourself. While you are forging ahead and still wanting to do more, you must be able to bring others along. Because see, and this is the point I've been trying to make from the beginning. I'm about to say it now. The point that I said I'm coming to. If you don't bring people along, if you don't empower them, your leadership is not going to be impactful. This is why. They're not going to understand you and why you are doing what you're doing. So you be that father that is always working, coming back 9 o'clock, and your children think you're absent. Meanwhile, you are doing it for them. But you're not carrying them along. People need to be explained to. They need to feel like they belong. See, human beings don't like what they don't understand. People don't like what is mysterious to them. Whatever is too scattered. So as a leader, you must learn to be humble enough to carry others along, to explain. There's nothing wrong with explaining yourself. Sir, you said something earlier. What do you mean? Okay, this is what I meant. Because if they don't feel they belong, they won't follow you. You need to show people the upside to what you are telling them. Oh, tomorrow we are going somewhere. What's the upside to this thing? Don't just say tomorrow we are going somewhere. Of course, sometimes you can be like that. Sometimes leadership could need that kind of firmness, authority. But I'm saying we're going somewhere tomorrow, sir. Why are we going there? Show them the upside to it, because we're going to meet a client, and the person is going to pay us this amount of money, or hopefully, or bring us a partnership. So we are leaving home 6 a.m. Like, okay, sir. That gives them an understanding. You give them equity in the outcome. They see that, okay, this thing is worth it. All right, so they'll not help you deliver that upside. Be humble enough to explain. Or else they will not go that journey with you. They won't think that they're part of. They won't give their all. They won't wake up 4 a.m. to follow you somewhere by 5 a.m. They are the ones that will delay you, and 7:30 you are still waiting. And it's your photographer. You can't go alone. Because he doesn't see why he should be part of it. Or that child that will now feel like you're an absent father. You're not a great actor in their life. You are not a great leader. Because they didn't understand your sacrifice. That's why you must empower and light up and explain and show, not just tell those around you. I think I have come to, my focal point tonight, and I just really want to believe and hope that it's been a fruitful conversation. Okay? Um, my God, there's a strong, overwhelming presence here. So yeah, I want to know. Time for feedbacks. Time for feedbacks. Yeah, Fitz, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much for say the teaching. Can you hear me?
Yeah, 100.
I have a question.
Yeah.
How do you deal with um the feeling of impersonation? Like when you feel like I want to try and give a case scenario to like explain what I mean. Like when you feel like you're not, should I say, worthy of something. Maybe from a Christian perspective now, you think or you know for sure that you are going to lead certain people maybe sometime in the future. And it seems like the people you want to lead, you're not even living that life that you're going to like
Yeah,
tell them is like,
yeah.
should I say the goal for them? Should I say like it's like you're going to lead people who's maybe the goal of the leadership is going to be bringing them into wealth and
You're not even wealthy yet.
let's say there's a metric let's say there's a metric for measuring your life right now, your wealth, like it seems like oh wealth is not like something that's going to be part of the life here. I'm just using that as an example. So how do you deal with that feeling of I don't even feel like I'm worthy enough? Okay, it's like saying, you know, you're going to be leading a group of um, political leaders or okay, let's say a group of lawyers come at the moment there's no way you're going to become a lawyer for you to like lead those people. How do you deal with that feeling of impersonation? I understand that okay, yeah, your mistakes, your should I say you've made mistakes, yeah, so you can understand what it is like to be in that state. But what if your target audience in that leadership position will not even be those who are in that in the mud,
Yeah, proof
would
of
not be
work.
those.
People that you have
Yes.
to show proof of
What
work
if
to.
it is exactly? What if you are going to lead people who and let me just say like aside impersonation, how do you deal with the fear of
Stepping
maybe
into
your
spaces.
mistake coming to bite you tomorrow? Like we know what social media is like right now. We know the atrocities and the capacity that the media has. So what if somebody pulls up a video, a picture, or something to say,
Then
like
you then you
like
then you own
rubbish
it and
your
acknowledge it because that's part of your journey. But let me take the answer from top. So the discussion we've had tonight is about those who already feel called to leadership or who are already leaders in some spaces and all of that. But let me answer this question because this is for somebody now who feels called, but they're not. They feel like they're not yet there. First of all, the fact that you feel called to that place means that you are worthy of that place. And I'm going to say something that I said to people somewhere like a year ago or maybe over 8 months ago on a call like this. I was asked to speak to them. How dare you think that you're not worthy? How dare you think that somebody has more wealth of knowledge than you, or more wealth of experience, or is more deserving? See, if somebody else does not believe in you, you dare not believe in yourself. How dare you think that an human being like you, who has had experiences like you, is more perfect than you? So what I'm going to say is this: of course, professionalism, you must go through your school of life. You must gather your both your scars and your awards. So we've talked about gathering your scars, right? Allowing yourself to take the scars. Gather your awards too. But I'm saying that at the end of the day, it's not about any of those things. If you're going to ever become, it's going to be from the see, everybody. Everybody that ever became anything, they knew they were going to become something. So if you don't know at this time, you are playing. You get if you're not if you cannot be convinced within yourself that I am going to lead corporations one day, you won't. This is the flip side to it. Everybody had a crazy conviction. They have a crazy belief. So this one is not about yes, of course, become worthy of it by proof. Get the degrees, get the awards, get the recognitions, show proof of work. But have you seen the leadership that in quotes is not qualified but is qualified? The one that doesn't have the certificates or the qualifications or the awards or the popularity or the clouts. Because most of these things is clout, is branding. and I'm a brand person, so I can understand it. I can do it. But as I'm saying, this is a deeper form of leadership. It's a form of leadership that shows you that it's not about you, right? But I'm not saying, let's even saying getting to that positional leadership or getting to that place where you are called to lead. That sometimes you could get there not because you deserved it in quotes by qualifications, but because you are worth it by essence and by value and by measure. Now, I want to quickly say something that, see, the fact that you feel called to certain climbs of positional leadership, listen very carefully. Maybe MD of a big corporation or founder of a big company or into boardrooms means that, as I said earlier, means that you are meant for those places. So, of course, you who thinks that you want to go into positional places, into corporate spaces, of course, you are not a fool. You are going to go and get you are in school right now, Faith. You are getting the degree, you are busting your ass day and night reading medicine. So it's not like you now have paid your dues. So I'm now saying that add to paying your dues your belief that you are meant for it. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yes, it does.
Okay. More feedback, one or two more persons as we round up for the night. Ayomide, anything? Daniel, anything? There's one number that has been on this call. I don't have the person's name. Even if you don't have a question to ask, just give a feedback. 08026889892. Who is that? Okay, Ayomide, it looks like you're meeting your mic. Please say something.
Yes, yes, thank you very much. Though I was off and on. Oh, I got something. Now, I have this question. So, so now it's about the way you carry yourself, even as a leader. So as you go in your day-to-day activities, even if you are not holding, okay, let's say some of these things you are holding, probably you're already leaving school, and you are leaders in some of these. So of course, when you leave most of these things. Now, for someone transitioning into that other part in life, so now how do you take up that leadership role, like that leadership sense that you have? You are leaving school already. So can I say most of these leadership roles that you are holding already? So you'll be dropping most of them. So now we are now transitioning to so it's like another world entirely. So what do you think about that, sir?
It's why this entire discussion was about the fact that leadership is not about the positions or the titles, but about the being, the becoming. Leadership is about the you. You are a leader, whether you are holding a position or not. As a father, as a brother to somebody, as a friend to some persons, as child to some parents, as community members to your neighbors, you're a leader, whether there is a position or not. And that when you get into spaces that maybe you have always been the champion, I said this at the beginning, and then now you're not the top person in the room. You must get to a point where you are humble enough to not just be thinking of calling the shots, to not just be thinking of all your life you've always been the one leading, calling the shot, this and that, coercing others into obedience. Now you must begin to learn to co-create because you're in a room filled with people who are on equal level, if not better than you. So now you are a leader. So in that moment, when you even find people that are better than you realize that you are still a leader. You're not their leader, but you're a leader. So in that moment, you learn a different art to leadership, a different science of leadership, which is co-creation, not coercing, not shouting at others, not being the one dishing out the instructions, but being the one who now suggests ideas, who listens to others, who hears from others. That's the new stage. So you get to a room where you are a leader, as I said, you must remain a leader whether you're holding a position or not. And now you now get to a place where even those who are there, they are your past, you are your equals. You're not the one calling the shots now. Or there are even people that are above you in some form of measurement and hierarchy. But of course, you are above in your own mind because you're a leader. You must now learn the art of, doing together with people. Does that make sense, Ayomide?
Yes, yes, yes. So I have like a question, a second question. Can
Okay.
I go ahead?
Yes, please.
Okay, now, so as a leader, even whether you are holding a position or not, so you have been trying to like impact a particular person or a set of person, but you are not seeing that growth, and you are like more like you want to really give in, but it's not like they are not grasping enough, and you are not really, and you are not having that sense of fulfillment. What do you do in that kind of situation?
I used a phrase during the conversation. I said, show, not tell. Bring that person forward by moving forward. Becoming more of a leader, becoming more of a success, becoming more of a person, becoming more of an human being, becoming more human, becoming more successful. Somehow, because you are carrying them along, you're empowering them, you are telling them, but you're also showing them, they will be rubbed off in your light. So it's not just about telling them to become, you can also empower them to become. That's a very important question. See, leadership is not just about telling people how to do or what to do. It's also about creating the opportunities for them to do. It's about, oh God, I heard this and it's for me too. Because see, it's not just about saying, oh, this is this. It's also about you being a so great a light that they can find light in your light. Do you understand it? It's about becoming so great a light that they can find light in your own light too. So let's not make it about them alone. You know, do you get what I'm saying?
Yes, yes, yes.
So yeah, it may not be happening to them yet. But that means that your influence needs to increase, and not just in words, not just, but in life, in actions, in being. Because see, if you become the president of US today, everybody around you can never be lower than certain things. They can't go lower than certain things ever again in their life. So, and as I said, it's not about positional leadership. I'm just trying to show an height. Do you understand? So I'm saying that by some things you enter, by some becoming, those around you are naturally influenced. So as you are doing well, you're trying to impact somebody, but don't try to impact them alone. Impact yourself. Become more of a stellar being, of a light, so much that everybody around you is automatically illuminated. Do you get it?
Yes, yes, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you so much, guys. If there are no more questions, I would really love you guys to drop your, feedbacks in my DM, things that you learned from tonight, and um, whatever other feedbacks you have, criticisms, compliments, whatever it is, because I want to take all of that feedback and, help me in my own journey of becoming. But I'm grateful that you guys were my audience tonight. Finally, I found a way to record the session. I used screen recording, so I've been recording my screen for the last 1 hour. I'm so glad the session is not wasted. Telegram. So people were not seeing the call, and but yeah, I'm grateful for tonight. I'm really, really grateful for tonight. I'm grateful for you being here tonight, and thank you for joining my TED Talk. Good night, everyone.
Thank you. Good night. Thank you so much.
Thank you, blessing.
Thank you,
Okay,
sir.
thank you.
Thank you, Faith. Thank you, Ayomide.